Keir Starmer is facing the most dramatic political collapse of his career. What started as a policy misstep has erupted into a national crisis, driven by years of political arrogance and disconnect from rural Britain. At the heart of the storm, a controversial inheritance tax, British farmers, Nigel Farage, and a judiciary quietly raising the alarm. Labour's plan to impose a 20% inheritance tax on family farms worth over £1 million has ignited widespread outrage. For many farmers, this is the final straw. After years of being sidelined by urban elites in Westminster, they're fighting back, with tractors blocking roads, produce dumped outside Parliament, and protests erupting across the countryside. This isn't just a tax dispute, it's a revolt. Farmers argue they feed the nation and refuse to be crippled by policies written by people who have never stepped in a field. The National Farmers Union warns over 60% of farms could face ruin. Generations of hard work wiped out by bureaucratic overreach. Nigel Farage has seized the moment, aligning Reform UK with the farming movement. He's framing the conflict as a fight for freedom, power, and national identity, accusing Labour of using environmentalism to justify what he calls economic cleansing. Labour's response has been heavy-handed. Rather than engage with protesters, Starmer's first instinct was repression. Reports emerged of planned arrests and legal teams drafting strategies to label protesters as extremists. But just as the crackdown gained momentum, the legal system pushed back. A senior UK judge, whose identity remains undisclosed, has reportedly warned that criminalizing peaceful protest would constitute an abuse of power. Legal sources say the judiciary is deeply uneasy with Labour's attempts to silence dissent, raising concerns about the erosion of protest rights and property protections. Even within Labour's own circles, alarm bells are ringing. Tony Blair's think tank has publicly warned that Labour's net zero agenda, fueling many of these land policies, is politically and economically dangerous. What was meant to be a push for sustainability is now seen by many as a path to state control, higher taxes, and economic instability. Reform UK is now campaigning to abolish the inheritance tax on farms and demanding any net zero land policies be subject to national referenda. Starmer finds himself boxed in, caught between appeasing environmental hardliners and facing mounting backlash from rural voters, political opponents, and the legal establishment. Meanwhile, a new controversy is brewing. Behind closed doors, Labour officials are reportedly exploring a Swiss-style deal with the EU, reviving fears of a Brexit betrayal. This deal would mean adopting EU rules, paying into Brussels, and aligning the UK back with the bloc, undermining the 2016 referendum and 17.4 million votes for sovereignty. Starmer insists Britain has moved on from Brexit, but insiders say a secret team in Whitehall, nicknamed the Surrender Squad, is quietly preparing a reset. The aim, closer EU alignment by stealth, not by public mandate. This isn't just about farmers anymore. It's about control over land, laws, and the future of the nation. If the government can seize farms today, who's to say they won't seize homes tomorrow? If they can jail protesters now, dissent itself could be next. With Farage back in the spotlight, farmers on the march, and even judges raising red flags, Labour's narrative is crumbling. What was once seen as Starmer's steady path to Downing Street is now littered with protests, scandals, and growing public anger. This moment is a reckoning for Labour, for the countryside, and for the country. And as trust erodes and opposition strengthens, it's clear that Britain's future and its freedom is once again up for debate.